Hey guys, this is Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I am doing video 2 with the second method for Frankenplanning with the Happy Planner system. So this series of 3 videos is really talking you through some of the methods that you can do, or at least that I have used to Frankenplan my Happy Planners and create a system that really works for me. And so in the previous video, I talked to you about the tape method, how you can combine and create a seamless flow within one section. In this video, which I'm going to call the combine into a new planner method, that's really long, but this is like the new planner method. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how I personally set up a Frankenplanning system for putting together multiple planners into one. Okay, and so a couple of things as caveats before we get started. One, in terms of what works for you, I don't suggest that this is the method that is going to work best for you. It's just the method that I personally think is the best. I use this myself when I do choose to Frankenplan. And also, like, second caveat, when we're doing this system, I feel like part of the fun of the Happy Planner system is the customizability and like the flexibility that it has. So you can try the system and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you can always just kind of go back to what you were using before. So with all that being said, let's start off with the question: what is Frankenplanning? Frankenplanning really boils down to one thing. It is taking multiple Happy Planners or multiple planners and combining them into one planner. And so this is the second method that I'm talking about. And in this method, what we're going to be doing is actually taking these planners right here, which you might not be able to see all of it, but there are 7, and I'm going to combine these 7 into a new 8th planner. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, a couple of things that I do that I think makes my, or maybe it doesn't. These are some of the tips that I have for doing this method. One is to use a completely different set of discs. Okay, so and covers. So I have that here. I have a set of discs and a set of covers. I'm not using one of the ones that's already here. Okay, what I actually do is leave all of my planners on their discs like this. You know, you can actually see it sitting in a box, right? So I leave all of my planners sitting on their like original, or like not the original, but like on their own set of discs, on their own covers. I don't like pull them off or change anything about it. And what I do is, for future months, I'll show you just an example of this. Like in this planner, it's January, so there's no like prior months, but let's just say pretend that it's March. All right, March is right here. So let's just say that I'm creating this Frankenplanner for March. I would actually, on this, like for this planner, I would actually leave January and February here, and I would only pull out March. That's the only section that I would use. Or if I'm doing 2 or 3 months at a time on my Frankenplanner, then I would pull out March, April, and I would leave January, February, May, June, still on this set of discs. So I have all the past months and all the future months on this set of discs, and all the current months and like the couple of future months that I'm planning to use on this Frankenplanner. And so I do that for across all of these planners. Okay, so it's right now, because I haven't Frankenplanned any of it, it has the entire year, and then I just move them over. Okay, and so you're going to see me do this. So what I'm going to do is that's the first thing. The second thing is, what I like to do with this particular system is to create my own custom set of dividers to section out each of the sections. Now I have 7 planners, you can see here, but one of the planners that I am using this year is this mini that's in this cover right here, and so I do. Even though I am using this system, I do also like to just in case have an 8th it's actually the very first one. It's going to be my personal section, and then I will have all the other 7 that's listed there. And really, this is your personal choice, like which sections go where. So I personally always start off with personal, like my catch-all. So I'll have personal, and then I'll just go through and kind of assign like these other 7 where I feel like they would fit best, and which ones I would access most, and that kind of thing. Now, you can see here that what I use is a set of dividers that are blank. I personally, actually, I was recording this video and I pulled dividers randomly from a couple of other things like in a drawer that I had, but I really think that, I really will, and I'll do this probably after this video, go back and use the set of like mini dividers from the mini undated planner, just because it gives it like a cohesive look. I personally like to do that to have all of my dividers look kind of the same, but you can just do a mix and match, and this is actually what it is. It's just a mix and match of like dividers. And I think all of these are double-sided, which I do like to use for my Franken planner, although some of them might not be. They might all, you know. Sometimes I use like single-sided ones and sometimes I use double-sided, but this time around they're all double-sided. That's actually really cool. All right, so some of the things that I recommend, like where do you get these double-sided dividers? These actually came mostly from guided journals. Like guided journals will give you this 4th tab, and Happy Notes only give you 3, so you're missing that 4th one. So guided journals, especially the new ones have been printed double-sided, so that's where you get this 4th tab. So pro tip for you there. Okay, so what I do with these dividers is, just in case I ever want to use this in a different project or whatever, what I do is I bring out the tape, all right? And so what I do is take a piece of tape, and this is just regular, just regular tape, and I put it on the divider, like right here. And so one of the things that you really should do is use a divider. Like this one is really, really dark. I'm not gonna be able to see what I wrote there. So try to pick like lighter dividers. I might have to replace that one actually. Let me go do that right now before I write this. Okay, I just pulled, again, a random divider. This one is a single-sided one, so it has the month on the back, right? And it's not that much lighter, but it is lighter. Okay, and so I'm not gonna label all of these because I really haven't decided the order here. I will at least put the first one on here, but I put the piece of tape on there and I use a Sharpie, like ultra fine point. So this marker will write we'll be able to write on the tape. And so I just write on there, personal. All right. And the fun thing is with writing on the piece of tape and not actually writing on the tab itself, you could pull this piece of tape off and, you know, reuse this divider somewhere else if you choose to do so, right? So it's a good way of like saving these dividers if you're planning to do that. Now, again, I won't label all the rest, but I basically do the same thing. Tape, write what section it is, and we go from there. And then, as I mentioned at the very beginning, I like to call this system like creating a new planner. And so you have to have a set of covers, like one set of covers and another extra set of discs. And this is the Franken planner that will be traveling around with you. So this is the one that you get to style up. So if you have like a certain cover that you really, really love and a certain set of discs that you really love for that cover, this is where you do all of that. Now, I will say that this cover I bought used, and so I'm going to try to hide some of it. Like the previous owner like actually decorated some of it, and I don't know if she would want you to see that. All right, so she decorated the back as her actual cover. All right, so I'm gonna stick these dividers in here. All right, and again, I'm not actually labeling them, but just to talk you through, I would actually make a decision on which goes where. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to stick them in like as I pull them out. So that's kind of where it goes. I don't even know why I changed it out because I'm really not labeling it. All right, that was just a little bit of extra effort for no reason. So now I pulled 8 dividers just because I have 8 sections in this Franken planner. But you just use however many dividers that you need for how many sections that you have. Okay, so here, personal. Personal, again, I am using this planner, so I won't actually need like anything in this section. One of the things that I do, and you'll see this as I move forward, let's just call this section Sophia's memory book. One of the things that I do with this particular system, and you can do it however you want to, but I actually don't like using the dividers, right? I feel like it throws me off if I actually use the divider from the original like planner, and so I don't use this at all. What does that mean? That means that I have no monthly like spreads, none of this spread in any of my pages here. So that might bother you. That might be something that really like you need that monthly layout. And so one of the recommendations that I have for you is to either print out just a monthly grid so that way you have something to have that on, or if you are someone who has to have a monthly grid just to make note of like things in the future, replace this first tab right here with like 3 or 4 months worth of monthly spreads, and then just go from there with the rest of your sections, right? So you know the first 3 months are going to actually be labeled, you know, January, February, March, and then after that will be the rest of your sections. But I personally do not use monthly spreads in this system. I do use them, but when I transfer them over to a Franken planner, I don't have that just because I feel like the tab throws me off, like it's going to be a little bit mixed up. So what I do then is in the second section, let me go back to my second section. I'm just going to consider this the memory book. Again, I'm just doing this for the purpose of the video, although that would actually that would be where I put it, I think. No, actually, I wouldn't put it there. I would put it a little further back. But this section, I just pull out everything in February. All right, so I just went from divider to divider and pulled all the middle pages. And Sophia's memory book is Frankenplanned using my first method, the tape method. And so there's a section right here that it's taped down. So it's actually two planners worth of weekly pages. And I just put it in this section. And that's it. Now, one of the things that I do have, and if you don't like I personally only use 1 month at a time, but if you use multiple months at a time, and you just don't like flipping multiple pages, you can use dashboards or bookmarks to mark where you are in each section. I just don't do that, especially with Franken planning, because I keep only 1 or 2 months at most. And you know, that means flipping at most 10 pages. It's not that big of a deal for me. All right, so that's the first one. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to put next, like I'm just looking at all of my my planners here. The next one's going to be my faith one, right? And this is just the order that I use. You can use whatever order makes sense to you. And so you can actually see here, these were the dividers that I actually used in 2020. I made my own and I created like a set of 4, and that's all I had in terms of my Franken planner. And after a while, I broke down my Franken planner, so I put the divider in here just to indicate that it's my faith planner. I have notes from like other stuff. And so as I mentioned in my lineup video, what I'm actually doing is using some outdated pages. And so one of the sets of pages that I do have are these like year at a glance. I'm going to be doing a Bible study, and I want to keep this in this section so that way I can track like the verses that I'll be reading. And then the other part of it is like just basically like outdated pages, right? And I'm only going to put like a handful, although I can put more or less, you know, just really depends. I just feel like the least you should do is a month, but certainly towards like the middle of the month, I will go through and kind of replenish. But it's just like outdated, like from 2017. You see that? Okay, so it's really, really old. All right, and so that's my faith section. That'll be third. All right, fourth, again, just making some of these decisions as I go, is going to be my social media planner. And again, I haven't purged this, so there's still a lot of 2020 stuff in here. But what I'm using for 2021 is going to be this, again, this outdated cover, like title page. And I actually saved the year at a glance, but these are all outdated. So I actually I really don't need to transfer it. I just am, just because. And so that goes in there. And again, like I might use these, I might not. If I do use it, I will have to like renumber it, redate it. There's some really random stuff in here. This is actually not, okay, so what I'm planning to use in here are going to be, again, outdated pages, but I'm going to be using the lined vertical. You can see that here. Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure. There's some really random stuff in here in this section. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm grabbing a month's worth right here. Again, these are outdated. I just dropped a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to use this. It says January, but it's actually January for 2020. So that's the wrong date, but I'll put that in here. Okay, next section is going to be, and again, you see I'm not using any dividers. In this planner, I don't have dividers at all. I will eventually add dividers in there just because I like dividers, but I don't use dividers generally for most of these other projects. This section, let's just call it my budget section. And so I'm going to pull out my mini budget journal, and I'm going to flip to the section with like these guided journal pages. And again, I'm just pulling a month's worth and sticking it in here. Again, without the divider. Then the next one will be wellness. I really should have moved wellness up. Like, again, I'm trying to prioritize wellness. Oh, and I'm realizing that I have another, like, oh no, that's right. Okay, I'm not sure Yeah, okay, that's right. I did have 4 sections. And then for my wellness, I'm using, again, outdated pages, everything's outdated. I'm pulling, again, just a random set. I actually have no idea how many that was. It felt like 4 weeks worth. Sticking it in here, again, without dividers. Next is going to be my, let's do this one. This was my birthday one. This one's actually not outdated. Like, it's only one of 2. This one and this planner, half of it is current. But the rest of them are outdated. Okay, or at least undated. So let me pull January, again, without the monthly divider. I, in a previous video, talked to you about how I'm not planning to use monthly pages in here, so that works out. And then last section, I won't flip that, because again, like, there's some stuff on the front there, which I'm sure, just to, like, not flip through that section. I'm pulling, again, some guided journal pages from my gratitude journal, and I'm going to stick it here in the back. Do like this. Okay. So that is all. Now, that's how I set it up, and again, you can see how, like, that was 7 planners, really, not really 8, although I have 8 sections, so I don't have anything for my personal. But if I did include my personal, that would be the one section that I would include more than 1 month, and so I would have 2 or 3 months worth, 3 or 4 months worth, maybe even half a year if I had enough room for it. But I would actually put that section in last after I put in everything else, and I only include a month of everything else, and just change it out every month. But that's it. So if I put in those 3 or 4 months, it would be a little bit bulkier, and it would be pretty much exactly perfect, I think. And so that's my Franken planner. Let me flip it through just so you can see it. Okay, again, new set of discs, a new set of covers, and then dividers that I label myself using tape just so I can reuse the dividers if I need to for whatever reason. And for me, I have 8 sections, but it will be just depending on how many sections you personally need. Here's the personal section, which has nothing just because I don't have anything in here, but here I might like put notes, things that I am writing in here that I need to transfer to my personal planner, so that's what goes here. Then I have the memory book here. For Sophia, and it has this vertical layout, and then this stuff which I showed in a previous video, several previous videos really. Then my face section, which is outdated horizontal, that looks like this. Then this section, which is social media, and these would be labeled so I would actually know, and I'm using lined vertical here. And then this is the budget section, which is the journaling part of it. I have a separate system for like the actual cash transactions that I do, so this is the journaling for it. Then here is going to be my wellness section, which is this wellness layout, that followed immediately by my birthday planner, which is here, and then lastly my gratitude journal, which are right now the Teresa Collins guided journal pages. And all of that came directly from my planners, and once a month finishes, I pull out that, like, this section. Let's just do this section just as a show and tell. I'm doing only this, but I would do this for all of them. I would take this section, which is January section, and once January ends, or like mid-January, I might do this. Once around mid-January, I will leave January in and then just take February off. And then once January completes all together, I will take all of January out and put it back in here. Or, you know, just whenever, like if you have enough time to do it and you can keep up with it, then you can change it right at the end of the month. It doesn't take that much time. And so I just pop it back in here and just go to February. So January will be in here, and then February will be in my Franken planner. March, April, and all the rest of the months will be in here. The only thing that's not in here is going to be the current month. And that is method number 2 for Franken planning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm not really sure what to name it. I just really call it the new planner method, which is, you know, moving everything into a new setup. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in seeing the last video, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can be notified of that new release. And until the next video, bye!